Victimization, like I told you already, it's more about that. People have this kind of tendency where they like to be a victim so that other people can support them, or if something bad is happening with them, then they try to portray this image that I'm being bullied, so they can have other people pitying on the victim. This is a tendency. But the thing is, it does not help. It does not help a person. It only uh, provides unhappiness. If you, rather being a victim, if you take full responsibility and do not give your brain such thoughts that I'm being bullied or I'm being treated unfairly, then you can excel in your life.
Hi there, Adrian here, and this is a video from a Zoom session that we do. We do these Zoom sessions every Sunday and we take questions and answers from the audience, some of our students, some of our members. We never know what questions are coming up, so I'm always excited to do these sessions and I hope to see you at one of them. Make sure you hit the subscribe button below and check out the other playlists that we have. Thank you, enjoy.
Right, so let's start. So please feel free to talk as much as you want and ask any question if you have. And if you have anything to supplement the topic, then please feel free to speak. So the topic is happiness and its tool. And I'm the presenter. My name is Andy, and I'm happiness coach and NLP practitioner. So in this session today, we will learn about true virtues of happiness. What is happiness? How it works? How it doesn't work? And then later, I will give you few tools for happiness. Because today we just have 1 hour to talk about it, and there are a lot of tools. So I will try to give as many as I could. Let's see how it works. Then I will talk about happiness. I will explain about brain pattern, which part is responsible for what, and which part is responsible for happiness. Um, what can you do to get happiness, and what stops you from happiness? Um, Mostly, it's more about the happiness, the second part of the index. So before we see true virtues of happiness, would you like to tell me what do you think? Which are the true virtues of happiness? Just
contentment,
whatever.
satisfaction.
Right. Good. You can tell whatever.
Enjoying every moment.
Right. Good.
State of being able to experience more positive emotions rather than negative emotions.
Yes. Yes. Okay, let's see what are true virtues of happiness.
For me, happiness is more like a feeling of accomplishment.
It is. So what I think is, it is more about your thoughts, how you regulate or manage your thoughts, and your thoughts causes the feelings. Absolutely. Okay, let's see the true virtues of happiness. True virtues of happiness are love, optimism, courage, freedom, proactivity, security, health, spirituality, altruism, perspective, humor, and purpose. In the following slides, we will see how they can be yours. So let's go to our next slide. Happiness. Most of the people I meet are neutral or unhappy. Happy people are rare and they stand out, isn't it?
True.
If you see happy people, you are immediately attracted. This happens with me a lot of time. They brings in different vibe and energy. People are born with an innate level of happiness. Circumstances also influence it. 50% of our happiness level comes from genetics, 10% from circumstances, leaving 40%, which we can control. So all the work, all the tools and whatever we will learn is for the 40%, which we can control. The very most important question is, why are so many people unhappy? It's because of the fear. Let me give you some examples to explain you more about this fear. First is, it's like feeling of going to office on Sunday night makes a lot of people unhappy. The reason is they are scared. A lot of people are scared, or they have fear of the work, some difficult work, which they don't like or they don't want to do. Or maybe they have a fear that they will come across some unpleasant people at work, which they don't like. I'll give you one more example. Like when you are driving a car, somebody cuts you off in the traffic. Do you blow out your top? Isn't it? You feel very annoyed because you are afraid, because they put you in danger. Your life is in danger. It's fear that annoys you. Most unpleasant feelings boils down to fear. If you are stressed about anything, it all comes from fear. And fear is the enemy of happiness. So this is the introduction. If you have any questions or have any inputs, then please feel free to say. Right. So let's move to the next slide. How happiness does not work. People try a lot of things to be happy, and once they don't work, they try it even harder and feel more stressed. Things such as more money or possession, getting more power or status, focusing on weakness rather on strengths, striving to be perfect, trying to force happiness using tricks or false affirmations. They try these things. Once they don't work, they try it even harder, brings them much more unhappiness. So like I said, it doesn't work if they are striving for more money and the things, the points which I have mentioned. I will explain them now. We have all heard that money can't buy happiness, but most people don't believe it. What they say if I have more money, then I would be debt free, quit my crappy job and do what I like. 90 more than 90% people say this. But it's surprisingly true that a lot of studies have shown that the lottery winners are more happier than they were before they won. And same is true for people who met with terrible accidents and suddenly got paralyzed. A year later, they are no less happy than before. Circumstances does not make us happy or unhappy. As most of the rich people, they don't look to be happy. They look quite unhappy, in fact. A lot of rock musicians and movie stars do drugs. They are so happy that they don't need these substances. Possessions do not create happiness. If I talk about myself, for me, a long-term difference were made by the things that are involved in doing something. Things such as my DJ controller or my guitar or my football or my scuba diving mask. The things themselves don't matter much, but doing fun things with them does. Whitewashing over reality also doesn't work. It's important to be real. In addition to trap of money, power, and being fake, there are few persistent attitudes such as victimization, feeling of entitlement, waiting for rescue, and blaming that keeps us away from happiness. Victimization, as in you always feel that somebody else's fault. You're always victim. This attitude is very bad. You should always be responsible for whatever situation you're in. Feeling of entitlement, like your boss should do something for you, or your wife, or your children, or your parents should do something for you. Or if you're waiting for someone else to rescue you, that will never happen. You gotta rescue yourself. Blaming, blaming is the worst thing. Blaming destroys the relationship. It just brings on. The common thread is staying stuck and focusing on what you can't do instead of taking full responsibility and control to change your life. Working on your strength. In short, happiness doesn't come from circumstances, neither does unhappiness. Money, possession, fame, or power can't make you happy. And terrible things happening to you don't have to make you unhappy unless you hang on to them and let them define you. Let's see the real cause of happiness. Unhappiness. And happiness comes from fear, as we saw earlier. There are two main fears: the fear of not having enough and the fear of not being enough. If you think about it, it all makes sense. All worries about money, job security, possessions, bigger houses, power come from the fear of not having enough. The worries about what other people think, not being loved, not being able to do something well, or getting fired come from the fear of not being enough. And this is a very interesting part. This will explain why we have fears and why our brain processes so much of fear. This is kind of scientific, but it's very interesting. Why is fear such a huge part of our lives? Where does fear come from? Where does fear come from? Because we are so well established as a mankind, we are so capable of doing things, and still we fear so much. If we are incapable or insufficient, how can we reach so far wherever we have reached as a mankind or as a person? But still we keep doubting ourselves, keep being scared. We always have fears. So why we have these fears? Where does it come from? It is coming from the structure of the brain. Brain has two parts. One is brain stem, another one is amygdala. Stem cell is the part with the fight, flight, freeze response. Our ancestors needed it to safeguard themselves in the wild. Like if a tiger is running after them, then stem cell, brain stem will immediately give them the signal that it's time to run away. In modern times, what is most dangerous thing which we face could be a stem. So we don't need it. And second is amygdala. Amygdala stores all bad memories and look for patterns of things to be afraid of. This was handy in olden times. Same with brainstem. When people needed to notice rustle of grass, that meant a tiger was stalking. But in modern times, it is of almost no use. It can trigger some chemicals in the brain, which can lead to heart attack. These two parts do fear processing and generate unhappiness. Let's see how. So far we have seen how it does not. Now let's see how it does. Ability to be happy come from neocortex. It is the site of reason, long-term memory, and human spirit. This part of the brain can override the parts earlier we studied, two parts, amygdala and stem cell. This part, neocortex, is the key to happiness. Our brain is wired, we all are wired to focus on one thing at a time. We can use neocortex to focus on love, focusing on appreciation, generosity, doing things that are meaningful. We can make ourselves happy. So how can we be happy? We need to shift our focus. We need to shift our thoughts. If we are having bogus thoughts, then we need to move our thoughts. If we are focusing towards fear or negativity, we need to just stop those thoughts and think about love in your life, the things you appreciate in your life. You need to switch your focus. It is difficult, but with practice and with time, it gets easier. So let's see tools of happiness. Now we understand how happiness works. We can use this knowledge to be happier. Like what I was explaining to Ripa just a moment ago, studies have shown once you have 3 positive thoughts per 1 negative thought, then you will flourish. Less than 3 positive thoughts per 1 negative thought won't work. For 1 negative thought, you need to have at least 3 positive thoughts, then you will be happy. With 3:1, we are not trying to eliminate negative thoughts completely, not trying to make it 3:0. Bad things do happen, but if we bring enough positivity, then we can overweight it. Let's see first tool of happiness. Tool number 1 is gratitude. This is the fast track to happiness. It's purest form of love and it is easiest to access. You should develop a gratitude habit. How to do that, I will teach you now. Each night, before you go to sleep, you can make a list of 5 things you are grateful for that day. I do that, it works wonderful. In the beginning, it might be difficult, but later it will get a lot easier. While you do this, you are also setting your brain into a positive mode for the night. Positivity, as we discussed earlier, positivity attracts more positivity. Once you are happy, then you'll attract more happy people. Alternatively, there is one more way. You can take a few minutes every day to savor small experiences, such as a flower, a dish of ice cream, sun on your face, or other things, whatever you like. You can pause for a minute, for a couple of minutes, and experience it, enjoy it. And also, another thing is coming to my mind. You can have a theme for that, like your favorite food. You can have your favorite food or read your favorite book. This will all bring happiness. Give a theme to your day. Monday, I'll do this. Tuesday, I'll do another thing which I like. Well, let's see second tool for happiness. Second is optimism. Optimists assume good things are permanent and pervade every area of their lives, and bad things are temporary. Pessimists does opposite. Pessimists think bad things are permanent. Let's see an example. If optimists and pessimists are looking for a job, searching for a job, optimists think eventually I will get a job, but pessimists will think nobody wants to hire me. I am flawed or nothing will get any better. Here you can notice the thought pattern, how these two persons think differently. Let me give you one more example. If optimist wins a contest, then they will explain about being good and their success. They will say, I'm very good, I worked hard, and they will talk high about themselves. While on the other side, pessimist will say it was a fluke or luck. I just got lucky this time. So it also shows they are so underconfident. So this is also a major difference. Another thing is you need to stay optimist about yourself, because we never know the true explanation of most of the things which happens in life. If there is a situation, or if someone is treating you badly, their bad behavior could be, not could be. It's people always think about themselves and their issues. So if someone is behaving bad, it's because of their own issues. It's about their own problems. They are screwed up or suffering. Their bad manners are due to their own issues. It's not because of. So in future, you can tell this to yourself. If someone is treating you not so nicely or something, or if there is a situation, it's not because of you. Because always people are so much into them. They just think about themselves. And if there is something they're ill treating you or something, it's not you, it's them. They're screwed up or something is going in their life. Or maybe they're in a bad mood. Okay, let's see another tool. Number 3, defeating faulty. So here I would like to say, don't believe in everything you think, as thoughts are based on your assumptions of the world and on your thinking habit. Like whatever you know about the world, whatever knowledge you have acquired so far in your life, and the thinking habit which you have developed so far, your thoughts are based on that. Those pathways in your brains get stronger each time you go down them. Means whatever you feed your brain regularly, those things become stronger in your brain. That's why we remember our favorite songs, but not trigonometry. That's why we remember our favorite songs from our childhood, but we forget trigonometry or calculus or what we had studied in our childhood, because those songs we kept on repeating. But math or some other things which we did not repeat, we cannot retain them. Same way, if you spend more time thinking good things, then it will get easier. If you spend more time thinking about good things, then your brain will get thinking more of good. This takes practice, it takes some time, but later it gets easier. Let's see 10 things that make people miserable. First is other people's opinion of you is crucial. If they reject you, it means you are worthless. There will always be people who think you are great and people who don't. Look what you can learn from the people who don't. The people who don't think you are great, just see what you can learn from them. Otherwise, just ignore them. If you believe you're doing right, then that's all right. If you believe you're doing right, that's all right. But if you don't believe you're doing right, then change until you do right. Second is, you must not fail at anything important or something terrible will happen. I would say you have to mess up to learn and grow. Failure sometimes turn out to be mildly successful. I would like to support this with an example. The discovery of post-it notes. It was a result of failure to make super permanent adhesive. The post-it notes were such a big, huge success. Third is people and things should conform to your idea. of the way the world should go. If they don't, they are wrong and bad. Here, we just may be able to educate people, but we cannot change them. We can only change ourselves. If something goes wrong, it's somebody's fault. You better make sure it's not yours. Here, this is very, very important. Nobody likes their nose rubbed. Nobody likes their nose rubbed. You rather be happy than right. This I believe in my personal life. You rather be happy. If you are arguing with someone, in the end, if you prove you are right, then what is the result? You screw up the relationship. I choose to be happy than right. And building on relationships. Any day I would choose to be happy than right. Worrying about something will make it turn out better than if you didn't worry. If worrying lets you to take action, then go for it. But worrying alone doesn't work. So I would say worrying is useless. It is of no use. It lets you to take action, then you can worry to a certain point until you are taking actions. I have done something about my worrying. I have one of my friend, he has an assistant. So this friend was delegating everything to his assistant, all the tasks, and assistant was doing very, very well, all the tasks. So then later, my friend was very worried about one of the project. Then he asked his assistant, can you worry about this project instead of me? Can you worry? He just outsourced the worry. And his assistant said, okay, yeah, I will worry for this. If you don't have to worry, I will worry. Then he used to follow up with assistant. Are you worrying about my project? Are you worrying about my project? And then assistant used to say, yeah, don't worry. I'm worrying for you. You don't have to worry. So then I thought that if my friend's assistant can worry for my friend's project, he can also worry about my things. So now I just pretend that his assistant will worry for me. I don't need to worry about anything. I will delegate all the worry to his assistant. So you guys can also delegate your worry to my friend's assistant. If he can worry for him and me, he can also worry for you. You don't have to worry. It's easier to avoid difficult situations and responsibilities than to face them. It's much more efficient to pick one of a solution instead of waiting for the perfect one and never getting started. If it turns out there is a better solution, then consider switching to it later. But get started. Don't just wait for perfect solution all the time. In short term, it might feel easy, but in long term, it will have an adverse effect. So stay away from denial or delusion. I would say do whatever you need to do, because eventually it will come back in your life. If you are delaying something, you should better know. Otherwise, later it will cause more. Number 8, you can protect yourself from getting hurt by never caring too deeply or investing yourself too much in any pursuit. We don't try as hard as we could, because if we fail, then we have an excuse that it was not our best efforts. I think majority of us do this. We try to keep this excuse. We failed because we didn't do this. You can't be in a true intimate relationship if you don't let another person see the real you. So you need to, even for friendship or relationships, If you want to form true friendship and relationship, you need to be yourself. You need to be raw. You need to open up. Your past determines your life now and forever. Your past experience have shaped you to whom you are now, but don't let them define you forever. Don't be a victim. Refuse to give it a power to rule you. Don't be a victim. Bad people and things should not exist. So if they do, you have to get upset about them. Don't, I would just say don't get upset about it. Getting upset does not help. So this tool is also a very good tool. Tool number 4 is being nice to yourself. Many of us are very critical about ourselves, but we don't have to be. You can be your own best friend instead. Let me tell you how to do this. If there is a situation, someone is saying something to your best friend which is not very good, think what would you say to defend your best friend, and say it in your own defense from your critical side or from your own critical voice. Next time, instead of blaming yourself for something, try to think, how does another person being a jerk make me stupid? I'm doing my best and I don't deserve this treatment. So whenever you have that voice, critical voice of yours in your own head, then bring this another voice to support yourself. And you are doing your best. You have done your best. Be your own best friend. Feelings comes from thoughts, and you need to change the bogus thoughts to have good feelings. Great feelings. So I have more tools, but today I just thought that I will share 4 tools with you guys. If you want to connect with me, you can connect with me on phone, via phone or WeChat. Here is my phone number, and my WeChat ID.
Boom! You made it here! Good on you. Make sure you click the subscribe button below and check out the playlist at the end. If you'd like to come along to our Sunday sessions where we host a live free Q&A for our students and members, you're welcome. I'll see you there.